Today I wanted to talk a bit about education. As a Portuguese person, I think it's a really relevant fact that it's 50 years since the right to an education that is free, public, and universal, since the enshrining of this right in the Constitution, which happened in 1976. Since then, it's clear that we've been leaps and bounds improving on what was the old education system. Just so you have an idea, in 1974, 25% of the Portuguese population was illiterate, meaning they didn't know how to write or to read. And nowadays, according to projections, it's around 3%. So it's a big improvement. And I think it's one of the indicators that show how much we've progressed in the last few years. There's still a lot to do, and I think it's a common fact that we all know that we need more teachers, we need more investment in education, and there's a lot of challenges that are not new and that need to be addressed. But the current landscape brings other challenges that we should not diminish and should not ignore, especially in two aspects that for me are essential. Namely, information literacy, meaning that we need to teach young people how they can find reliable sources, where they can should search that information, and how to understand if that's a good information source or not. And also in terms of the AI, let's say, landscape, because AI is here, and we need to introduce that to the education of our young generations. In regards to the information literacy, I think it's common knowledge that nowadays we can find information wherever we want at the touch of a fingertip. As there's this old saying that knowledge is power. It's been a saying that's said around the world for many times and has many iterations. But we have to be careful about what knowledge we want to use. It's so easy to find information that just says what we want to hear and that allows us to be non-critical of what we're seeing and hearing. And that's the thing I think we should start teaching in schools, especially to the younger generations, about how they search the information, how to understand if that information source is a reliable source or not, and to understand if there's a possibility of manipulation regarding that information. I think that's a major point going onwards in our education system, and we have to introduce measures to allow both teachers and students to have that critical thinking. For me, it all comes down to that, to increase the critical thinking of our people and our young generation. In terms of AI, I think it's a bit of a similar problem in the sense that the AI tools are here to stay. I'm honest, I was sort of an AI non-fan at the beginning, but I now recognize it's a thing that's here to stay and a thing that we have to deal with. What's important here is to allow people to learn how to use AI, not just rely on AI to do the thinking for them, but as a way of increasing their critical thinking, of fact-checking, of brainstorming, for example. And I think it's essential that we introduce in schools an AI, let's say, module, or incorporate AI in the learning process in the sense of allowing students to understand how it should be used, how we can use it, and not just rely on that for doing it. Education in Portugal, I think, since I can remember, has always been discussed. It's always been a hot topic, an issue. It will still be for many years, and these two topics are just two more to add to the conversation, and I think it's a conversation that should be had not only in Portugal but in Europe. And I wanted to raise a bit of awareness for that and make you think about it. Thank you.